Hi, this is Tim with RCNewb.com, and I have a fun little unboxing today. It is another quadcopter. Um, I was recently talking with Rich from 2RC Productions on my podcast, and he mentioned that Sky Viper, which is the brand we're going to be talking about today, makes a nano drone, and he felt that that would be a great opportunity for me to better hone and better learn the ways of flying a quadcopter or a multi-rotor. So I picked up the M500 Nano drone from Sky Viper, retail price of $29.99. This was picked up at Target. There is an M200 model that I see that Target appears to be clearancing. If I was not able to find one of those, so I picked up one of these models, but at under $30. It appears to be a decent option for learning how to fly a quadcopter multi-rotor aircraft. We're going to take a real quick look at the box, and then we'll take a look at what's inside. So looking at the back, really eye-catching graphics. It looks nice, and really that the polish that they put on the box isn't just fluff. There's a, well, it might be, but there's a lot of decent information about the aircraft on the box, which I like to see. Good details on what the controller will look like and what the controller does. Gives you an accurate description of the drone itself and the size and dimensions. Looking at the back of the box, we can see that it does one-touch stunts, barrel rolls, it can flip. It has a auto launch, auto land, auto hover functionality, and there's also a simulator. Now the simulator is a simulator. Okay, it's not controlled by an iOS device or an Android device. You do get an actual controller in the box. And we'll flip it around and take one last look at the quadcopter itself. And it's very small, which is nice. Perfect for indoor flying. See there? There you go. But I'm looking at this to be a training model for myself. Now, one thing caught my eye at the top of the box. It does say that no FAA registration is required, and it does give you the specs right at the top of the box. So right off the bat, the weight, 13.1 grams. It uses 6mm brushed coreless motors. It has a built-in 100 milliamp 3.7 volt LiPo battery. Runs on a 2.4 gigahertz transmitter and radio system. And then in the box, you get a drone, a controller, the battery, USB charging cable, 4 replacement blades, and the operator's manual. So I've had enough reading for today. Let's take a look at what's inside the box. Okay, so everything's in a nice tray, as you see here. The flying guide instructions looks very straightforward. I almost prefer this to the previous model quadcopter that I purchased, which is Dromeda's Kodo HD. This just appears to be a little more straightforward and laid out in a little cleaner fashion. But I'll get to reading that later. And then we've got everything that's in the tray itself. So here's our charging cable, our controller, our backup blades, and the quad itself. And I believe that the battery is already in the quad. I'm going to go grab something to free the quad itself. Okay, so we've got everything out of the packaging. Real straightforward. Most of it popped right out. There were a few zip ties that needed to be cut, but we got that taken care of. So, charging cable, get that out of the way. It is what it is. Here's the quad itself. Again, very, very small, very compact, but it should make a nice little indoor flyer. Off-on switch, blades, Nice, lightweight. And then here is our controller. And as you can see, number of controls and buttons. So this will be your throttle over here. Forward, back, side, side, rotate. And then we have auto launch, auto land, and then altitude adjustment. There's our stunt button. And I will read up on what these other buttons are. But controller feels decent. It's compact. And yeah, should do the trick. You're a little bit at the mercy with some of these toy grade or more budget friendly, budget conscious models with what they give you. You can't bring your own equipment to the party as you can with other hobby grade or higher cost quadcopters and aircraft and even service vehicles. So it is what it is. I'll learn to like it, but it does feel fairly decent holding it in my hand right now, almost like a smaller Xbox controller or something along those lines. Again, I'm looking for an indoor training quad, and eventually something that I can let my kids buzz around with and have a good time with. I've also had decent luck training myself to learn how to fly quadcopters with the Real Flight mobile app, and I will at some point do a little bit of an overview and review of that app down the road. But I hope you do enjoy this video. If you did and have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Again, this is the second quadcopter that I've discussed and talked about. The first one was Dromeda's Kodo HD, which is another great entry-level quadcopter. It just may be proving to be a little trickier to fly than I had anticipated. But if you want to check out that unboxing and brief overview video, I will put a link to that in the description below. For more information on RCNewb, be sure to visit RCNewb.com and check out our podcast. It's an audio podcast. I've had amazing guests on it, and just it's even greater discussions around the hobby of radio control. So I'm going to get this charged up. I'm really anxious to try it out and see how it flies and see how it performs and see how I do flying it. So again, the Sky Viper Nano drone M500 should be a fun little thing to fly around with. So until next time, I will talk to you guys later.